Yo, people that I knew before this, before I woke up, are raging morons. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. My old friends are raging morons. And I look back and I'm gonna talk about why. I look back and I'm like, was I really that stupid? Did I really have that much willful ignorance about what was going on around me? I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't think I did. I've asked my husband this several times. Like, did I really just not want to see the truth of what was going on? My husband was like, no, you were never like that. I don't think I was. I think my instance of, having Trump derangement syndrome, living in a liberal echo chamber, I think I just wasn't paying attention because I was focused on other things in my life. I just was not focused on it. It was not willful ignorance about what was going on in the world. But man, my friends, old friends, I don't even know anymore. Whatever. So here's the thing. And I just want to preface this. Like, I wasn't even going to make another video today. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I was sitting downstairs. I've got my second Guinness here. I know it's in a Sam Adams glass, but it is actually a Guinness. Been in a Guinness mood lately. I don't really know why. Whatever. Here's the deal. So all day, these stories are coming out that far-right extremists are responsible for the rioting and the looting. And I'm watching these videos and I'm like, that's Antifa. That's Antifa. That's not the far right. Like, anyone who has ever watched videos of Antifa knows that that's Antifa. It's not like, the right-wing white supremacist Nazis that they try to paint it out to be. It's Antifa. Like, am I crazy about that? Because I don't think I am. And listen, there was a time in my life when I didn't know what Antifa was. It was about a year ago, maybe year and a half ago, whatever. I didn't even know what Antifa was. And maybe if someone said it, I'd be like, okay, like, whatever. It's just some made-up thing by the right. But then when I started waking up out of my liberal echo chamber, I met someone that said, like, she went through the same journey that I did. And she said, Carlin, one of the things that really woke me up was when I started watching videos of Antifa. And I started watching videos of violence that was coming from the left. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? I have no idea. And so you know what I did? Is I went and I started watching videos of Antifa too. I went on YouTube and I kind of Googled, and the videos I found most helpful was stuff like this. And this, I don't know if you can see, this is one of the videos like what Tim Pool used to do, which is just like, this is like a 6.5 hour video of him literally just walking around at a free speech protest in Portland, and there were free speech advocates there on the right, and they were very peaceful, and then there were Antifa people, and he's just walking around. So it's completely unedited footage. I knew that no one was trying to paint me a story. I wanted to see what was actually going on, and I watched basically like all the footage like this that I could find to have a really good sense of what was going on from someone who was there, which was the next best thing to being there myself. And I didn't have anyone editing it for me, and I didn't have anyone telling me what to think. And you can't go through an exercise like this without coming to understand that the violence and the extremism, they're not coming from the right, they're coming from the left. You just can't watch it. And I am not insinuating that white supremacists do not exist. White supremacists absolutely exist. But in this context, at like a free speech protest, you've got just conservative people that want to protect their free speech, and they're hanging out and they're having a good time and they're waving their flags and like whatever. And then you've got in Black Bloc, Antifa, and the violence is coming from them. And it is so obvious when you watch this footage about what's really going on. And this was definitely part of my wake-up call. And so as I've been watching the footage of the riots, I'm like, that's Antifa. Like, it is obvious. Like, there's not even a question in my mind that it's Antifa. But then we had stories coming out like this, literally all day long. This says, authorities suspect white supremacists and far-left extremists are behind violent protests. So, of course, they do have the far-left extremists in there, too. They don't call them Antifa. It's always far-left extremists. But all these stories came up talking about white supremacists. And listen, man, I'm not going to completely rule out that white supremacists are involved too. I can't rule it out. I don't know. I haven't been at every single protest. I have no idea. The only protest that I'm even remotely close to happened in Manchester, New Hampshire. It was a bunch of white people walking down the middle of the road with their hands in the air saying, "Don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot." Like, didn't really see much to that. They didn't really see like much was going on there. I don't believe there was any looting or rioting in Manchester, which is about 20 minutes away from me. And so like I was like, no, this is This is obviously Antifa. There's just no other way to spin this. And so I responded back to one of my friends. And listen, some of my friends from before are good. And they have conversations and they're nice and we have a little back and forth. And this is one of my friends was posting on Facebook essentially about the white supremacist stuff. And I responded back saying, no, dude, that's Antifa. That's absolutely Antifa. He says, no, Carlin, this is white supremacy. I'm like, no, dude, you got to go watch videos of Antifa. I was really trying to help because he is like a reasonable guy. So I was like, of all people, he's someone that maybe I can get him to watch something or look at something. And if you compare Antifa videos to what's going on, like, it is just ragingly obvious to any person. And then this happened. So this is a little back and forth that I was having on here, and so I was responding. My friend that is the reasonable one was responding here, saying, you know, trying to present me evidence that this is really all white supremacists, and you know, he basically telling me, are you even looking at what I'm posting? And I said, dude, I've been seeing these things all day, because I'd been seeing these articles all day, and every time I was like, those articles are stupid, that's not real. And so I wrote, I've seen them all day. Anyone who thinks, should have been thinks those are white nationalists and not Antifa have never watched videos of Antifa. Now, this person here whose face is crossed out, this is a different person. This is a person who was a super nice guy. I'm sure he is still a super nice guy. Lived in Portland. This is what he said. Do you know what Antifa is? They may show up to beat up fascists, or maybe that's just the Portland ones, but they're nice people. They just hate fascists. They don't trash buildings. And at this point, I lost my shit. I'm going to be honest. I lost my shit. The reason you're seeing this is I posted this on Twitter. I blocked out everyone. I don't want anyone to get harassed. But I was like, I literally said, will you guys please help my friend here by providing all the evidence that this is Antifa, that this is what it is? And you know what? Listen, they provided a lot of evidence. And I have a thread on my Twitter right now. It's right at the top. Let's just look at this thread, shall we? This is a little thread of what Antifa is doing in these riots. So let's just take a look. May 28th. This is, hang on. So is throwing bricks through cop windows? I just never tell you to commit a crime, would I? This is from an Antifa Twitter account. Let's keep going. Twin Cities DSA. Want to help your comrades protesting at the 3rd precinct, and here's a good list of what they need. So they're saying that they're the ones that are at the precinct building that got burned down. That's basically Antifa. I mean, Democratic Socialists, that's Antifa. Antifa, Seven Hills, how to support Minneapolis directly. They're literally posting stuff about the damn protests. But you know what my favorite one was? My favorite one was this one. Long Beach Antifa. The riot is one night. Cover your face and hair. Think before you text. Encrypt your shit. Wear gloves. Don't use Facebook, period. Watch out for Google, too. Use public computers or encrypted networks. Don't speculate about who did what. Watch out for RFID tags. Don't put your picture online. Don't brag. Leave your phone at home. Remember the NSA reads your email. Be careful, not paranoid. Never snitch, ever. Metadata lasts forever. Literally tweeting it out from an Antifa account. My friends are morons. They still don't want to see it. There's still right now a back and forth. Okay, no, Carlin, these are really white supremacists. I'm like, have you watched any of the videos I've sent? I even sent him stuff from Andy No, and I knew who Andy No was before. I know you guys a lot think you're introducing me to him. No, I knew who Andy No was, and so I said to my friend who used to live in Portland, I was like, well, what about Andy No? And he's like, oh, well, he just got a milkshake tossed on him. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, no, the dude did not just get a milkshake tossed on him. He's not upset because he's lactose intolerant. Like, are you kidding me? And I just, oh my God, guys, I can't anymore. I can't. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I'm so frustrated. And I know here's what you're going to say to me. You're going to say, Carlin, you're new to all this. We've been dealing with this for 4 years. Like, whatever. I'm so frustrated with people, and frankly, there are people on the right that this is true of as well, that just simply are not interested in the truth. Simply not interested in the truth. You know, that was always what it was for me, is I didn't really care about what side to be on. That was never my thing. My thing was I wanted to know what the truth was. I wanted to have some integrity about what I was doing. And I just don't know I now have some more understanding about why I had the views that I did for so long, because my friends are raging morons. Raging morons. And these were people that I was getting my news from. Guys, please, 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 get your news from a diverse set of sources. Honestly, I am so frustrated with myself, and I'm so mad at myself right now for not having gotten my news from a more diverse set of sources for a good bit of time, for really checking out for a couple years there. And I'll tell you this too. Even though I'm saying that my old friends are raging morons, and I'm going to stick by that, they're not interested in the truth. They're not interested in seeing what's going on. They're only interested in reinforcing perceptions that they already have. But I'm going to say this to anyone that might have gotten this far in this video that's on the left, that if you listen, I have so many regrets for the things that I said and the things that I did over the time that I had Trump derangement syndrome. That's real. I have so many regrets. There are things that I feel so much shame for. The things that came out of my mouth. I have so many regrets. And someday, if you're watching this and you're going, how dare she make a video about how all her friends are raging morons? Listen, man, this is part of my journey. And I made the decision when this all started that I was going to document things in a very truthful way as part of this journey. That was the decision I made. And I've been ranting about news and stuff and giving you my perspective on that. But part of this for me is I really want to remember these moments. I want to remember these moments where I have these revelations, or when a friend that I thought was a friend anyway, abandons me, or these things. I really want to document this. And I'm, I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself on the back like too much, because that's not my intent, but I want to show vulnerability in this, because I think that's important. I think expressing vulnerability and showing when you think you're wrong, and showing what you've learned and how you grow, like, that's behavior I want to model, because I'm not ashamed of I'm not ashamed of anything that I've gone through. I'm not ashamed that I had Trump derangement syndrome. I don't have any shame about that. But I think it's important to acknowledge it, and I think it's important to look at these things and say, what could I have done differently? And oh my God, I seriously just can't believe. I feel like I lost like 3 years of my life, if I'm honest. It's surrounded by all this bullshit. And now being able to see, like, oh my God, they're literally tweeting about rioting, and I can show this to the left. I can literally show this to my friends. This fucking flyer on an Antifa Twitter account, I can literally show this to my friends, and they're gonna be like, well, maybe a little bit, but it's still gonna be white supremacist. Like, you're deluding yourself. Like, knowing what the truth is, I think, is probably the most important thing in all of this. And why are you more committed? Here's the question I have. Why are you more committed that you would accept bullshit as reality that you just can't see? I said to my husband earlier, we were sitting out on our deck and having a beer, and, cheers. We were sitting out on our deck having a beer, and I said to him, I was like, I don't know how this happened. It was like you put two animals in front of me, a little cute furry puppy dog and an evil snake, and then somehow I convinced myself that the snake was actually a cute furry puppy dog. That's the type of dissonance that I'm experiencing with all of this. It's like, I don't understand how they're doing it to themselves, but I do understand at exactly the same time. And I guess I'll say this, like, for me, having a greater understanding of what the truth is, even though it is very politically inconvenient for me. Like, people seem to think that I just went over I decided to vote for Trump. They seem to think it was like the easiest decision. It happened to some. No, man, Trump doesn't do everything that I like. I don't like a lot of the things that he does. I don't. But between the two choices, when you look at reality, when you look at that, and you see a band of crazy people over here that are not acknowledging facts literally right in front of their face, and then you see a guy that's talking about how bad Antifa is, dude, I'm gonna go with the guy that's talking about how bad Antifa is, because Antifa is bad. And they're destroying so many things right now. They're destroying businesses, they're destroying homes, they're destroying cities. You don't even want to acknowledge it? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. All right. That's all I've got. Back to sensible ranty videos tomorrow.